Hi, this is Steve Latham. I'm with the Yale Interdisciplinary Center for Bioethics, and I'm speaking today with Santa Slokenberga. And Santa has been teaching in our summer institute for a number of years. She's Latvian originally and is currently an academic in Sweden. So I'm going to ask you to start off by giving us a little bit of your background, your training, and what your current academic positions are.
Sure. I'm an academic lawyer, as you mentioned. I did get my law degree from Latvia. That was in 2009, and thereafter I did my master's in medical law in England and moved on to do my doctoral degree in Sweden at Uppsala University.
And was the doctoral degree also in law?
That's a doctoral degree in medical law specifically.
Medical law.
Yes. I finished my doctoral studies in 2016. And thereafter, I was a researcher for a while at Uppsala University, and now currently I am, my main position is a postdoc at Lund University.
And we were saying earlier, before the cameras were rolling, that you're still doing a lot of academic work in Latvia as well. Can you describe some of what you've been doing?
Sure. It all relates to my pleasure working in Latvia and knowing the legal system quite well. Currently I am a lecturer at Riga Students University, and I also do quite a lot of, I do not only teaching but also quite a lot of academic writing there. For example, I do comment cases when they come out. Sometimes I go beyond the field of medical law. Sometimes I write an article commenting the recent legislative proposal.
Mm-hmm. And you have a book on Latvian medical law, or the book on Latvian medical law.
Precisely. In 2015, we published the first Latvian medical law textbook.
And what kinds of academic issues are occupying you right now?
Well, that's a big question. And it's quite difficult to answer because I'm involved in 3 different academic institutions. One could say I do 3 different things. In Uppsala, I focus a lot on law and genetics, and mostly LC questions, and specifically data protection and privacy. Then at Lund University, I focus on constitutionalization of medical law and how different legal orders try to regulate standards of care, and currently I locate that specific question on children, on their right to health. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, of course, it's Latvia, and currently we do have a very controversial legislation adapted that constrains one's right to health, and I'm very unhappy about that, and I reacted quite a lot to it.
Great. So let's talk about the Bioethics Summer Institute here at Yale. What are you teaching this year?
This year I'm teaching international human rights in healthcare.
And you've taught that before?
But yes, with slight changes. Previously the course was comparative human rights in healthcare, where we looked at different human rights systems and how they coexist and how they respond to the same healthcare services, for example. What happens in Inter-American system, how do we value the right to life there, what happens in African human rights system, and what different responses we get in Europe, for example.
How many countries are your students from in your seminar, roughly?
At this point, it's 6 different countries.
6 different countries. And do you notice a difference between the way Americans and non-Americans think about human rights?
Definitely. There is, but I wouldn't say there is one straightforward answer to describe these differences. It very much differs between which is the other party in the conversation. Are we talking with someone from Asia? Are we talking with someone from Africa? Are we talking with someone from Europe? But in each of these contexts, differences emerge.
My impression has been that Americans are much less interested in framing health law issues in terms of human rights, whereas particularly in Europe, it seems as if human rights is the dominant discourse. Is that correct?
I definitely agree with you. There is, of course, also in Europe, it's very difficult to enforce the right to health. It's a socioeconomic right, and as such, there is common understanding that that's the way to go. There is Brazil. It's pretty universal, acknowledging it's pretty unique, acknowledging in its constitution enforceability of this right. It might not necessarily exist in many other countries. So from that perspective, there is similarity. But in terms of state obligations when it comes to right to health, there are significant differences between students from America and students from Europe.
So I have to ask, you've come back to teach in the Summer Institute 4 out of the last 5 years. Why? Why do you keep coming back? There must be something you like about it.
There are many things I like about it, and it's very difficult to pin down one. But if I have to, I would say I love the diversity. The diversity in terms of students, in terms of subjects, in terms of teaching and learning methods that have been used, which create and which give the students possibility to find what they're interested in and to learn in a way that matches their interest. And it's very, for me as a teacher, it's very enjoyable to work in such an environment.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, and I'm glad you keep coming back.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Well, thanks for this discussion. All right.